Good morning, and welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View. With the fact that the Italian team have made another offer for Matt O'Reilly that has been knocked back. Celtic have knocked back a fifth offer, finally, from the Italians. It's understood that the latest bid by Anthony Joseph said yesterday, said it was 21 million, 21.5 million plus add-ons that Celtic knocked back. The fact that it is getting closer, it is getting towards the end of the transfer window, and they are getting closer to the money shot. Yes, they are getting closer to the money shot, and it is prudent that Celtic look at anyone else that's going to come in. Let's face it. And Swiss star, he's playing in Switzerland. He's actually Portuguese. Portuguese star Alvyn Sanches. Alvyn Sanchez is the player that Celtic are looking at. He is 21-year-old. He was born on the 12th of February, 2003. And he plays his football in Switzerland. And I'm going to have a little look at the player. And I know that these YouTube clips can be very selective of players and be very selective of obviously just the good parts of the players. But we'll have a look at this anyway and see what kind of player that he is. I mean, there he's there. That's a good goal. The side. One good goal doesn't make a player, though, does it? There's another one. Oh, that's a good little chip. That's a good little chip. I mean, he takes on one, gets round the last defender, and then just chips the ball over the keeper. Could this be a wee player that we could actually have a decent replacement for Matt O'Reilly? But Mill thought, there's another one. Oh, look at that. Takes it down well, you've got to say. And then gets a lot of power. And then he's in the midfield again. He was unlucky there. Comes off the post. Can he score it again? Not, he flicks it back. And then obviously nothing happens. He was coming back. He likes taking on players, doesn't he? He does like taking on players. It's obviously a pre-season game. There he... What? Outside the box, goal. Well, we've got to say he is onside. Takes up some good positioning. Likes to take on a player. He likes to take on a player. I think that's the most important part about this footage. That was what a ball! What a ball for the player. Alvyn Sanchez. Portuguese player. Another Portuguese player that Celtic are linked with. And he likes making runs right in that midfield. Good defensively. Gets the ball. What a... I know that these things can be very selective. And there's he's taking on two players. And he gets past it. He gets this filled. I think that's what Celtic need, is someone like him in midfield. I think we get a bit... completely different player from Rio Hatate. Rio Hatate can take some good... that's what you want a midfielder to do. Chase. That's... Any player needs to chase down a ball like that, and you always get that one that just comes off. There is taking on players again. The video footage of this guy on this one, obviously this channel was picked out all the best bits that they can do. That's what they do. But it could be a really exciting player to come to Celtic. Anyway, that is Alvyn Sanchez, the Portuguese player that Celtic have been linked with. And it's been suggested that he could be a potential replacement for Matt O'Reilly, for the outgoing Matt O'Reilly. Steve McCowan has said for outgoing Matt O'Reilly, which suggests that Celtic are, they know that the deal will happen. They know that they're hanging out for the money. They haven't just jumped at the first bid that's come in. They are waiting for 25 million plus £25 million plus add-ons. And the Italians put in a 21.5 million plus 2 million in add-ons has been rejected. Celtic are holding out for a deal which shatters previous record sales of 25 million for Kieran Tierney and Jota. So young Alvyn was born in France and he has dual nationality. Yes, he has dual nationality. He's Portuguese and Swiss. How on earth did he even get... that's just... Anyway. But he's got a Portuguese name. So I'll take him just for that. When we look at any other Celtic headlines this morning, everyone is talking about the fact that we did get the deal done for Adam Ida, but there's a lot of people talking this morning about Celtic getting this Swiss-based midfielder as a successor to Matt O'Reilly, which means only one thing. The Matt O'Reilly's time, will this weekend's game be the last game for Matt O'Reilly? Competition for the young lad who is said to cost 4.3 million. Will Celtic make a bid for the player? 4.3 million to replace Matt O'Reilly, who's going to go for 25 million. It is the Celtic way, but let's face it, it costs more, right? Let's put this into perspective here. It costs more than what Matt O'Reilly did. Now, interesting chat that's been happening over the last week or so is obviously the ongoing saga with McCowan from Dundee. I don't know enough about the player. I've never really watched enough of Dundee to see. I mean, a lot of people on the live are saying he's a fantastic little player, is Luke McCowan. And could he be the man that Celtic want to replace Matt O'Reilly with? I don't think so. I think he is more than likely a long-term replacement for either Rio Hatate or a long-term replacement for Callum McGregor taking over from him. But I think in the short term, he's probably going to take over from Rio Hatate because let's face it, Rio Hatate is one player that will move on in the next season or so from Celtic. He has been at Celtic since Ange came in. And to be fair, foreign players never usually stick around as long as what Rio has done. I think Rio gets one good season in the Champions League and he will be off. I think he gets a really good season in the Champions. I mean, he's played in the Champions League and he's played fine, but I think he's got that little next level. And it has been said on many occasions that, and I think to be fair, it's lost in translation that he said, that he's been asked the question, "Would you like to play at a higher level?" And he said, "Yes, of course." But people are putting that down to speculation that he wants out of Celtic just now. He's never actually indicated that he does want out of Celtic. And Brendan Rodgers has definitely said that he's looking forward to working with, and he's hoping to see the best out of Rio Hatate. He's hoping to see the Rio Hatate that he thought he was going to get last season. He's hoping to see that this season, which suggests that Celtic aren't looking to get rid of Rio Hatate this summer whatsoever. It would be an absolute travesty if Celtic were to get rid of Rio Hatate and Matt O'Reilly in the same summer, so that won't happen. Celtic won't allow that to happen whatsoever. But is it clever of Celtic to go down the route and get Alvyn Sanchez in as a replacement for Matt O'Reilly, who does look a little tricky player, and then also go to Dundee and they look as if they are trying to cash in on the player and bring in young Luke McCowan from Dundee as a long-term replacement. We do need to mix the squad up. We do need to strengthen the squad. Is he a player that can come in and make an immediate impact on the team, or will he be a squad player and will he be happy enough to just come in and be a squad player? It's the problem that Celtic have just now with having such strength and depth in that midfield that any player that comes in really needs to hit the ground running. I mean, we've seen Odin Ohm come in last summer and he's not really made an impact. You've still got Gustav Lagerberg. I mean, there's many players that came in last summer that didn't make an impact at all. Celtic really need to offload some of those players, but it could be a good little bit of business bringing in Luke McCowan and this Alvyn Sanchez. They're both at an age. They'll both be put on 5-year contracts. And you look at what Celtic are doing. They are putting everyone on 5-year contracts. So they're making sure that they're building for the next 3 or 4 years anyway. And I think it could be a fantastic little bit of business towards the end of the transfer window. But it will be sad to see Matt O'Reilly leaving. And if he does leave, you want to bring him in. You want to bring in somebody like Sanchez that can turn games. I mean, we all know that these clips can be a little bit, but if he's got the quality, get him in. So now on to the game this weekend. Yes, Celtic do entertain Hibs in the League Cup, the competition that were put out by Kilmarnock, and a special nod to Kilmarnock. Actually, they did do well last night. They did Scottish football proud by getting through to the next round, and they are one step closer. And I do believe that they helped the coefficient. Now it's up to Celtic to try and win some games in the Champions League and help the coefficient, because it could be said that we could get a fourth team into European football next season, just through the league. Never mind the cup, which would be good for all. But some teams need to do better in Europe, and let's face it. But the Kilmarnock manager does know how to do well in Europe. You've got to give him that, and especially in the Conference League and Europa. He will do well for them. So Celtic play Hibs this weekend, and the team that entertained Hibs away last weekend was Schmeichel, Johnson, Carter, Vickers, Scales, Taylor, McGregor, O'Reilly, Hatate, Forrest, Kuhn, and Kyogo. Now, whilst Kuhn was on fire in that game, Kyogo did go down with his shoulder, which basically made sure that Celtic pushed the boat out and got Adam Ida in this week. It was kind of forced upon him. Let's not lie about it. It was forced to get the deal done and dusted. The fact that we do not have backup striker. The backup striker was Mikey Johnson, who got smashed in the face. And there's been no update as yet. It's Friday, so Brendan Rodgers will probably do an interview today, and we'll get an update on Mikey Johnson and Kyogo. Will the man himself start the game this weekend at Celtic Park? I think there'll be a couple of changes this weekend. I think the team will be Schmeichel, Johnson, Carter, Vickers, Scales at the back. Am I right? With Matt O'Reilly, McGregor, and Hatate in the midfield. I think Dyson Maeda will come on instead of James Forrest for this game, just to get him some game time at Celtic Park and get him back up to speed with everyone else. And I think big Adam Ida will start the game also, just to give Hibs that little bit of a different headache to deal with. I think that those will be the changes. Will Sinisalo start from the? I think Sinisalo might start also. So that would be 3 changes. If I was Brendan Rodgers, I would make those 3 changes just to give Sinisalo his first appearance at Celtic Park and some much needed game time if he is going to be the man in charge next season. We want to get him as much game time as you can this season. You don't want him just warming the bench like keepers have done over the last couple of seasons. But yeah, I think it would be fantastic to get those 3 players in. Yang, Ohm, Tomoki Awata, Bernardo, Ralston, Welsh, Mikey Johnson. Well, Mikey Johnson might not be fit for this one. He might still have a bit of a bruised pus, as they say. A bruised pus, as they say in Fife. So tell me what you think the team will be. I think that will be the team. I'm going to go for it again. It'll be Schmeichel. No, it'll be Sinisalo in goals, Johnston, Carter, Vickers, Scales, and Taylor at the back, McGregor, O'Reilly. But then it's a cup game. Will he bring Paulo Bernardo in from the start just to give him some much needed game time? Because let's face it, we paid good money for him. So there could be 3 or 4 changes. And especially if there's a deal in the offing for Matt O'Reilly and it is just a cup game. That's one to watch. It won't be on live tonight because it's Friday night and there's never anybody on the Friday night lives. The numbers are way down usually on a Friday night. There will be a live first thing Saturday morning, so make sure that you tune in for that. 9 o'clock Celtic part time. There will be a live tomorrow morning, and then there might as well be a live after the Saturday games. We'll see. It depends where I am. It depends where I am because we are doing a lot of day tours just now, just to get out and about. We're really on holiday, really. It's permanent holiday, isn't it? But yeah, there might be a video Saturday afternoon, but if not, there will be another video Sunday morning, and then there'll be a live 1 hour and 15 minutes before kick-off on Sunday when Celtic entertain Hibs for the League Cup, the competition that were put out by Kilmarnock last year. Can't let it happen twice. It's going to be at Celtic Park, so it's never going to happen, although Hibs will try and give us a good go. Anyway, on that note, thank you for watching the end of the video. Stephen, big shout out to Stephen, who is one of the channel members, and a big shout out to everyone who give out channel memberships last night. Thank you to everyone that done that. We have a fantastic community, and we are trying to become an official Celtic supporters club. So on that note, have an absolutely fantastic day to all you Celtic fans all around the world.